Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Here, let me hold on. I can't see without my reading glasses because of my aged eyes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to know how, oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see. Video settings, record, video settings. Because I thought
I
we could
think I
go,
think you're recording right now, aren't you? Or no?
yeah, yes, I
Okay.
am. What I wanted to know is we could do um we could do it live, and I'm figuring out where it is that you do live. Screen or because there's a place where you can do it, and I thought it was on choose. Well, this is the background. Dang, can't remember how to do the live. Oh, actually, I think I go to don't I go to Facebook?
I don't know. I don't do I've done say Zoom calls back in the day, but I haven't done them in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Whatever you'd like to do.
All right, let's take a look here.
Is this going to be recorded also?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it looks though. So I see live video. Post time. Create a live event. Go live. Select. Oh, this will be funny. Because I'm not sure I know how to get you onto that one. Copy and paste the stream key into your streaming software. And this stream key is valid until you log out of Facebook once you start to preview. And I don't know if I send this to you. All right, I may have to play around with that. So
Okay.
we'll
Tell me
skip that
what
one,
is the
but
advantage? What advantage do we have by going live as opposed to just posting this?
well, I don't edit it, and I
Oh,
just get it edited, and we can take it from there. So it'll look more professional. If we go live, it looks just like this.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's whatever you'd like to do.
Well, I want to get in the habit of going live at some point. I just need to go back over it and figure that part out. I thought I went on to Zoom, and from Zoom, it gives you the option to actually go live. And I'm not seeing any of that. Let me look one other place here. Oh, it's my own. Oh, I know where it is. Here it is. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hang on. Stop video. And what? Nope. Dang, maybe Zoom changed it. So I'll have to, yeah, I'll have to play around with it.
Okay.
So anyway, let me stop the recording, and then we're gonna start again.
Okay.
That did not stop it, Ginny. uh, record, here it is. Okay. All right, close. Okay, now we're gonna record. All right,
Okay.
you want a title?
I don't know what the title would be.
What shall we focus on? Small business or on the adventures you've gone through with doing your umbrella, and bring in a little bit of entrepreneurship and some of the struggles you've had
Okay.
or the fears?
Um, do we want to figure this out when we get done with it?
Oh,
Or
look
did
at
you?
that, it's still recording.
Oh, this is the startup recording right now?
It's still recording.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it ever stops. So we'll just go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah, you can cut the
Yeah,
the
I
start
can
of it
cut
out,
the
right?
beginning part. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster, and I'm with Ginnypreneur. I do interviews of small business owners and ask them about the fears that they had to overcome. And I want to give you a little background about Pete Hawkins. So he is also a small business owner. And one day I went to Longmont Public Media here in Longmont, Colorado. And here's this vivacious guy who comes in with this coolest little umbrella. And I'm asking him about it. And he's showing it to me. It goes into the garden. His wife invented it. And it's a little shade that opens up as the sun comes out to cover the flowers so that they don't wilt, because in the middle of the summer it can get really hot here. And I thought it was the coolest thing. So I told him that I do interviews of small business owners. And he said, I asked him if he was interested in doing it. And he said, yeah, I'd like to do it. I said, okay, well, let's set up a time. He says, well, let's do it right now. Well, I had just met Pete, and and so I go, oh, okay. And I get on and get it all set up, and I realize I don't even know his last name. So it was so much fun doing it with him. And so that's why I'm excited about introducing Pete, because now we are moving forward. That was over a year ago. And I keep reaching out to him. Okay, what are you doing now? What's the latest on the umbrellas? So once again, I connect with him and I say, shall we do another interview? And he says, yeah, let's do one today. So here we are. And I want to introduce Pete to you. Pete Hawkins. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
So,
Yeah.
Pete, where are you with those umbrellas? Did I lose you?
Yes, you did. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I did something wrong or,
No, you didn't do anything wrong. I can hear you.
okay. I'm back
Yeah.
here. You disappeared. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
So
okay.
the question is what's going on? And to be very honest and frank with you, our big challenge that we've had with that umbrella was kind of getting it financed and moving it forward. And we've had a lot of kind of uh positive input. I mean, when I have shown it to investors, but it's been a challenge to get funding to make this. And I do think that when we came out with this, we are going through the COVID time, and maybe that's part of it. COVID, people are a little bit concerned about timing and that sort of thing. Long story short, I think we still have a great product. I'm not uh unsold on the product. It's just sometimes the real deal is when are a small business owner and you're starting up something like that, there's a part of this that is I call it just, it's a fatigue. You know, you're working at something, you're trying to make it go. You think, I know it's gonna be hard work, but at some point it feels really, really tough. And you know, we were talking about something earlier today, and you made the comment about some bank, go to some bank and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, my entire life, I'm in my 60s now. My entire life, I have found when I've had a business idea or an opportunity, and even if we're down the road and it's a real hard thing to get financing through a bank. And I talk to so many people, and maybe they're getting financing when they're up and running several years and showing profit, and they own their facility that they're in.
Yeah.
That feels
Yeah.
more like the banker's deal, and that's not the case when you're young, when you're have a very young business. I mean, you're just challenged every day, and uh, you know, you're challenged because it takes a lot of money to start a new product and get it to the point where it's sellable. You know,
True.
you know, and all of that takes a bunch of money, and usually it comes, well, originally with me, it came from me. Um, I do have an investor that's 20% in the company, and we had some money from him. Um, but it just takes a lot of money to do something like this. So,
It does. It takes a lot of money. And that takes me back to when we got into business. We started out in a KOA in our van, long-haired hippies,
yeah,
and we were going to buy a print shop, and we thought we had it in the bucket. All we had to do was go to the bank and say, here's our business plan. It's already an existing business, and we will be able to be successful. And here's our growth pattern. Well, the three of us, well, actually, the two guys were the ones that went into the bank. So let me paint this picture for you. Here we are at a KOA, and for
right,
some reason, somehow they got suits. So they jump out of this van in their suits. Ta-da, here we are. We're going to the bank and we're going to get a loan.
right,
Well, lo and behold, they went to the bank and got turned down.
right,
So what you're saying is very true. It's very hard, even if it's an established business, to get a loan.
right,
So what you're looking for are venture capitalists,
right,
and it's a matter of that gets you to connections, which is what you see. That was also what we were talking about earlier. It's a little bit harder for you because you're kind of new to Colorado. You came from Texas.
right, right. Yeah. I, I, yeah, I think a big part of small business when you're going into it is really how well you're connected. And I
Yes.
think we talked about this earlier, and that is where I came from. You know, I had been a businessman down there, and I had a circle of friends. And if you needed, you know, some investors, it was just a phone call away. And it was usually you could run by and pick up a check for them, and we'd kind of move forward.
Yeah.
Up here, because we've been back to Colorado, you know, here for only 5 years. We originally lived in Colorado, then we moved to Texas and came back here. That network is just gone. And so it's just challenging. And you know, another subject too is it is hard to, if you're not aware of it, uh to go about raising funds with the different things like GoFundMe, and there's several different things like that. Those are all kind of challenging too, because you just don't know. It's almost like you don't have enough time to learn all the different ways, you know. It's kind of like you would love to go, um, you'd love to have a person that could do that kind of for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
And so once again, it's all about connections. And I can share also that I saw that once we sold our business, I lost complete connection with all the people and all. I mean, I knew almost everybody in Boulder. I felt as though I did. That's where our
right,
business was.
Right.
And I knew all the business owners. I was involved with the Chamber of Commerce there. And then being gone and taking care of my birth mother, and that was going back and forth to Marco Island for easily 12 years.
Right.
Then when that was done, you go, okay, what am I doing now? And you realize, wow, I have no connections anymore in Longmont. So in a
Right.
way, that was what we were discussing is, okay, Ginny wants to get back into business. What is it? How do I strategize? Well, I have to start from the bottom again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got to go back to the chamber. Well, now it's the Longmont Chamber of Commerce I go to. And I checked out all the networking events that there
Yeah.
are. And
Sometimes, not to interrupt you, but sometimes when you get hooked up with those different kinds of organizations like that, there's a bunch of people going there that are kind of like me. We are looking for that person, so you're talking to people. And in fact, I
oh,
had the same thing happen to me. I was invited, this guy named Mark, uh, after I had kind of spread the word to a group of guys that I golf with. He gave me a call and, hey, let's meet at McDonald's and have a cup of coffee and let's talk about investing and and what you need and that sort of thing. And I went there and sure enough, he had a little invention that he was trying to get financed. He was trying to pick my brain. And I was gonna, okay, here, it's just and don't get me wrong, I know that that's part of the bumpy road you go through before you have success, but
mm-hmm,
it is
mm-hmm.
very challenging right now for me. Yeah.
Right, right. So when I meet people like that, such as yourself, the only thing I can think of are the networking places that I know of, such as Meetup, looking on there to see if there's a group of people that have are investors.
Right.
Sometimes there are people like that. Then you can also spread yourself really thin by going to some of those. I've
Right.
also heard that the Broomfield Chamber of Commerce is very active with up and coming people. Now, I'm not necessarily sure whether they're business venture people,
Yeah.
but I put huge credibility toward Chamber of Commerce's. And I
Okay.
know that each one of these, you can at least go and check it out at least once to get a feel for whether you've got a good rapport with those people and good connections.
Right.
That
Well,
always seems to be my first choice.
I'll listen to you there. I will. I'll try to track that down in my local area here. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And your local area is what
I'm in
chamber?
Erie. I'm in Erie.
Erie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Erie is still, it's big, but it's still small. Isn't it more of is it a bedroom community?
Yeah, I think so primarily. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my recommendation would be the Broomfield Chamber of Commerce. I have been there. It is very friendly. And after a while, you see the same people at some of the different ones. And so
Right.
Broomfield's been around for a lot longer than Erie and built up more. So I think you may have better success there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. So getting into businesses, there are lots of challenges all the time. And
Right.
as I was telling you, I came up with my 10 must knows, which I was going to look up,
Yeah.
of things that you have to know when you get into business. So thinking of one thing is it does take time. And
Right.
when you have a passion for it, sometimes it takes time to narrow down what that true passion is.
Yeah.
So to give you an example, just to give you hope, to give you an example, I've been doing this probably for about 4 years.
Right.
And I've gotten more into health, but everybody's into health. and
Right.
everybody's into coaching.
Right.
So what you have to do is you've got to look at how you are going to stand out and be different.
Right.
And we all know that Tom Chenal owns Longmont. So,
Right.
so here's Ginny, little Miss Pee-wee coming along, and I cannot tag along on Tom's tails, but I can learn from him. So
Right.
I learned, how do I stand out? And that is kind of how I got into the interviewing, because I had no self-confidence because I knew nobody. It's amazing that as you know people, it helps to build up your confidence, because you start to feel that people get to know you and they start to like you, and that makes you stronger. So I got the idea of doing interviews. And of course, that takes you down the rabbit hole of, oh, I'm not good enough attitude. And you have to
Yeah.
work through, there are a series of things that you have to work through,
Right.
just like in any business. So you set up a business and you know that there are finances, you know that you want to grow it. So you have to have a marketing strategy. You have to take care of yourself with your health. And some of the other things, another one was the exit plan I thought of, goal setting. You have to be flexible because COVID comes along, and you've got to have a different approach. For us, when we had our printing business for 24 years, we there was something that happened that was completely out of our control, and we thought that customers dropped off, and we thought it was us. But as we got talking to the other printers in town, we realized, oh, it's not us, it's what's going around worldwide. But we had our nose so into our
Right.
business that we didn't even read the newspaper.
Yeah.
And so we weren't aware of all that was going on. I mean, it was working, doing a business is difficult. You are so
Sure.
focused on it.
Yeah.
And so these things I realized about business, and I see the same thing happening as I'm working toward getting into this next business. And I've kind of chosen the field of health, focusing that, yes, you need all of those things. But to me, I realize if I'm not a strong person and I don't really focus on my health, I'm not going to be around to be strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
So for yourself, how long have you been doing the umbrella? It's only a couple years.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it is basically. It's only 2 or 3 years that we've, we kind of came up with the idea actually about 12 years ago, but
Oh,
we never got very serious about kind of putting it together and that sort of thing. And, uh, um, you know, I really want to do this. And I think one of the biggest, reasons that I want to do this is I just want to be successful at this. I don't want this to kind of get away from me.
uh-huh.
I think a lot of times in life, you have these opportunities, and because of inactivity or the market climate or gee, a zillion different reasons, it just kind of goes by the wayside.
Yes.
And the one common denominator that I think people that are successful and have made businesses, I don't want to use the word success because people who have made businesses work, um, uh, they don't let that opportunity go by. And and that's one thing that really kind of chases at me is I kind of feel like I'm that person that maybe in my life has let some things go by that I should have, been more attentive to. It does when you're in hard times like this, trying to figure it out, you really do take a hard look at yourself.
You do. And that's another thing. The self-development
Right.
has been part of what I've been looking at. Totally,
Right.
totally looked at that. And I realize, probably similar to you, that you can hold yourself back if you don't have the right mindset. there are all these mastermind groups out there and lots of classes that you can take. Well, you can spend tons of money on that and you can get
Right.
educated. You can go back to college
Right.
and do that stuff. So you need to be okay with spending money on yourself to improve yourself, but you need a strategy. So
Right.
one of the things that I learned while I was spending money on myself to figure out who and where and what and my purpose and all that stuff is you got to write things down.
Yeah.
So writing it down helps you to get clearer and clearer. Not only writing it down, but sounding like a fool and telling somebody, this is what I want to do. And
Right.
I have gone places and nobody knows what I do, such as yourself. You said, Ginny, what do you do?
Yeah.
Because all I am is words. It's
Yeah.
taken me this length of time to figure out where my passion is on how I can actually take the steps to do it.
Right. I hear what you're saying.
So that is another encouragement that I want to give to you, but you have to act. You cannot sit in your house, which I know you don't, because we've
Yeah.
met and, I met you at Longmont Public Media and I meet you out and about. So I know you get out and I know you're talking with people, but you have to take action. And it's got to be the positive action that gets you around these people that think similar to you.
Yeah.
And you can be around the wrong people if you don't know and understand yourself,
That's true.
that are not the right people to help you move forward. So not only are you doing self-sabotage,
Yeah.
you are also not surrounding yourself with the right people.
And I think that's a real challenging thing because I tend, well, I don't actually know who I tend to be around, but if you get around people who are a lot like you, sometimes that is not a great advantage. You need those people that complement you.
Mhm.
So I'm a winging it guy, and the best people I need to be around are the people who don't wing it, you know, and but at the same time, you've got to be able to recognize how those other people are gifted. That's the challenge sometimes. Those people who are really good, the opposite of winging it, whatever that is, those people, in my mind,
Focus.
they're easy to discount,
Mhm.
because they're not quick on their feet. They're not ready to do something in 3 seconds. They want to,
Right.
well, I'm going to set this up for a week and we'll lay out everything, get it in place, and then we'll, and uh so I think the key is you need to be around people who are for you, yet compliment you.
Right.
That is the challenge.
Right. And sometimes for myself, I noticed one of the classes that I took, and I'm just going to spew out some of these names because this, in my opinion, has helped me. It's a course called Convergence, and it really got me to look within myself. And one of the big things they taught me that I didn't know is from age 0 to 5 is when you learn 50% of your attitude.
Right.
And it was J.W. Wilson who wrote the book Cracking the Learning Code
Okay.
that Convergence came from. So it starts off with a weekend of about 32 exercises that they walk you through to really get to look at who you are and what you're doing. And to me, because of doing that, it has gotten me to also look at the people that I surround myself with. Sometimes we people are want to win everything. They know they're right all the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
And what we want in this
Kind of a
world is,
narcissistic look at life,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So we want win-win where
Right.
we all can win. and to get yourself around people like that. That was just one of the exercises that we did that many people walk away from. And it also gets you to look at the type of people that you're surrounding yourself with, because there are
Right.
4 categories of people. And just as you said, you need those 4, but it helps you to weed out faster the uh, the people that you need at the certain time to make
Right.
this happen for you, at
Right.
least for me. So that was one of the things that I've worked through. And then another thing is doing more action. So I literally look at my calendar a lot more often, and I
Right.
notice that I'm writing down things. And for me, what is big are connections. I'm really disappointed that I don't have a name for you, an investor.
Yeah.
And that is why one of the first things that I learned as I got back into this, just like you, we were talking about this, that since you're kind of an outsider, you have to build up all your connections.
Right.
So that is why I like the contact mapping app that gets you to keep track of what people are doing and reach out to them on a regular basis. So that is with Adrian Chenault. And that is why I keep reaching out to you, is because I want to follow up with you, because I know at some point I'm going to be much better connected so that I can help you out. And if I don't, I'll know someone who, such as Tom Chenault, Tom, do you know someone who's an investor around here
Right.
that Pete needs to meet? So this is all the important things of running a business.
I'm just thinking about something. Wouldn't that be kind of cool if that was our exercise, maybe over the next couple weeks, is just literally taking this video and just following around and seeing what happens, and looking at.
And asking other people how they need to be well connected.
Yeah, and or just going about the process of me trying to get, me trying to, fundraise and trying to develop connections. I mean, that would be, this, because this is what you hear.
Yep.
You hear the story about a guy with some software package, and he goes out and he said, yeah, we found our money, and then we went through the process of, of blah blah blah, growing our business. That's usually what they speak about. We found our money. And then you'll hear some people say too, I was trying to get my oil field funded, and my 69th contact was the one that finally, we were turned down 68 times, and the 60,
Right.
wouldn't you love to have a videotape on that? What was the first meeting like? What was the second meeting like? What did you learn by 30th meeting? What happened at 69, the real deal?
And that's why it has to be your passion, because if you don't have a passion, it's going to start in your mind. You're going to try this. That's not going to work. That's the
Yeah.
fail. Just exactly what you're saying. So you have to be persistent.
Yeah.
You have to be not hear any no's,
Yeah.
because you have in your mind, and I absolutely loved your umbrellas. I just love them. I would
Yeah.
love to see them all over the place. I wish you had one there that you could show people.
Yeah.
They'll have to look at the first video that
Yeah.
we
Maybe,
did.
maybe we can splice something in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a possibility. So that is the big thing. Another big thing about business, that you can't give up when it's like chess, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Right.
Life is like chess. Business is like chess. if it's really going to be here and really what you want to do, then it's going to happen because you don't give up.
Right.
But
Yeah.
nothing comes easy. You
Yeah.
know, the time people see you when you're wealthy is when they say, oh, they had it so easy. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's good.
Yeah. So from there, we'll put this out there and see
Okay.
if this gets you over any of the hardships. So what you're going to take away from this is you're going to go to the Broomfield Chamber of Commerce and you're going to check them out.
Right.
You are keeping track of all the relationships that you're building,
Right.
of all the people and who knows who,
Yeah.
so that you can continue to build on those relationships.
Right.
And then another person who pops into my head is Kurt Bear. I may have told you about him. He
Okay.
has a loco think tank out of
Okay.
Loveland. What he does there is he brings together small business owners who bring their concerns or their business problems to a small group. And what they do is they take one or two people in that meeting and say a person will speak up and say, I really want to expand my business. And they go through the issues that they're having. And then the people who are at that meeting come up with different questions to get the person thinking of what they can do to make that happen.
You're going to have to send me information on that because that sounds interesting.
It is. I
Yeah.
went to one of his meetings and it was absolutely fascinating. And I wanted to tell people, you got to do this. Nope, it's not that way. What
Yeah.
you do is you have to help the person with generating questions so that they walk away from that meeting with ideas on how to franchise it or think of the bigger picture, because it's
Right.
always the bigger picture that we want to get in our minds.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I do think just sometimes the entrepreneurial spirit, you do get so exhausted that it is more of uh it feels like you need somebody to drag you off the battlefield to help you recuperate. It's not another it's not a uh it's not encouragement, it is
No.
it feels more substantive than that. You need more than that.
And
So
an awful lot of people who have been in the business world have a hard time switching to the mentality of entrepreneurship.
right.
When you stop and think about when you work for somebody, you're always thinking, how can I save? How can I do things for less?
Right.
And yet, when you own a business, you have to say, this dollar that I put into the business, I need to do that because the results I get back from that are going to be exponential and grow
Yeah.
my business. So
Yeah.
it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
And you can't go to somebody else and have them do it because all those people are now counting on you.
Yeah. No, it is a huge responsibility when you do opt to have your own business. That is true.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this discussion, Pete. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
We
maybe
should
we'll
do
have,
it again.
okay.
I'd love to talk about this.
Yeah, I think it's
I'll
good.
bring up I'll get my list of the 10 must knows. And I want your opinion on how I can improve that list, or if these are all the things that you've thought of for your business.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's say goodbye and I'll get with you and we'll do another one, okay?
Sounds good. Thank
Okay,
you.
you bet. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye.